Today, we're not talking about a physical birth, but a spiritual one, a birth that takes place within the crucible of the human soul. We are exploring the ancient and profound concept of the alchemical child, or in Latin, the filius philosophorum. For centuries, alchemists were seen as little more than madmen, obsessed with the impossible task of turning cheap common lead into precious shining gold. Their strange cryptic diagrams and esoteric texts seem to confirm this pursuit of material wealth. But the true goal of alchemy was never about material riches. It was a profound spiritual discipline, a secret language for the transformation of the human soul itself. The lead was not a metal, but the raw, unrefined state of the human psyche, our base instincts, our ignorance, and our shadows. The gold was the ultimate prize, perfected human consciousness, a state of being free from our baser nature and aligned with a higher divine wisdom. The ultimate symbol of this spiritual achievement was the filius philosophorum, or the philosopher's child. This child is not a literal person, but the inner perfected self that is born only after a long, arduous process of spiritual transformation. It is the result of the sacred union of opposing forces within our psyche, the culmination of a life's work of self-discovery and inner work. It is the new integrated self, innocent, wise, powerful, yet humble. To witness this transformation, we must journey through its distinct and difficult stages. It is a process that begins not with light, but with the profound and necessary darkness, the very chaos from which all life springs. Before a child can be born, there must be the raw material, the fundamental potential from which all things are made. In alchemy, this is known as the prima materia, or the first matter. The prima materia represents the raw, unrefined state of the human soul, our base instincts, our unconscious desires, our unexamined self, and our darkest shadows. It is the lead that must be transformed. Alchemists knew that to create the gold, you had to start with the most common, most impure substance. Similarly, the spiritual journey begins by acknowledging the most common, most flawed parts of ourselves. It is a state of spiritual inertia and confusion, a feeling of being incomplete or lost. Alchemists often describe this chaotic starting point as a black dragon or a blackness blacker than black. It is the state of our unexamined life, a state of spiritual death that must be fully acknowledged and embraced before any true progress can be made. This is the first and perhaps most difficult step. This is the beginning of the nigredo, the blackening or the mortification. This is the stage of confronting the prima materia directly, a process of dissolution and decay. It is a descent into our own shadow self, a painful and necessary confrontation with everything we have repressed or rejected about ourselves. Psychologically, this is the stage of intense self-reflection or facing our own demons, our fears, or insecurities. The alchemist would place the prima materia into the athanor, which is the alchemical furnace, to begin this process of purification through fire. We also must enter the furnace of our own psyche to confront what we fear most about ourselves. This can manifest over a period of depression, crisis, or a profound sense of loss, a dark night of the soul where everything we thought we knew about ourselves seems to fall apart. But it is in this darkness that the true work begins. After the blackness of chaos comes the light of revelation. The journey to birth the alchemical child requires a sacred union, a joining of opposite forces within the self. This is the stage of the albedo, the whitening or purification. After confronting and dissolving our darkness in the nigredo, we begin to cleanse and refine our souls. This stage is often symbolized by a dove descending, a queen washing herself in a purifying bath, or the dawn breaking after a long, dark night. The chaos begins to resolve into a new, more refined state. Psychologically, this is the stage of gaining clarity and insight into our true nature, of making sense of the lessons learned from a journey into the shadow. We are no longer lost in the darkness, but we are not yet whole. We are in a state of silver, not yet gold. The most crucial part of the stage is the conjunctio, the conjunction, or alchemical marriage. This is the mystical union of the two opposing principles within the human psyche. The alchemists called these principles the king and queen, the sun and moon, or sol and luna. The king represents the active, conscious, masculine principle, logic, reason, willpower, and the external self. The queen, luna, represents the passive, unconscious, feminine principle, intuition, emotion, creativity, and the internal self. In many alchemical texts, they are shown as two separate figures who must meet and embrace. The alchemical child cannot be born unless these two forces are united. The alchemists sought to dissolve these opposites, to merge them into a single androgynous being. This is the moment of true integration, where our conscious and unconscious minds become one, where our reason and intuition are in perfect harmony. We learn to listen to our heart as much as our head, to value our dreams as much as our logic, and to integrate the parts of ourselves we once saw as conflicting. This union is the true alchemical marriage, a state of psychic wholeness. The culmination of this long and arduous process is the birth of the filius philosophorum. This is the stage of the rubedo, the reddening or coloring. The alchemical child, the perfect androgynous being, is born from the union of the king and queen. The child is the philosopher's stone in human form, a state of perfected consciousness of spiritual enlightenment. It is the goal of the alchemist's work. It is the final stage of the magnum opus, the great work. The alchemical child is a symbol of completeness. It is not an adult, but a child symbolizing a new beginning, a new state of being. This child is wise beyond its years, a perfect synthesis of all that has come before. It represents a state of innocence and wisdom combined, a return to the divine state of wholeness that we lost in our journey of life. The child carries the weight of a transformed past, but embodies the freshness of a new future. The birth of the child is the moment of ultimate transformation. It is the awakening of our true self, our inner divinity. This child possesses the power to heal, to understand, and to see the world with new eyes. It is the ultimate goal of the alchemical path, the proof that the spiritual work has been completed and that the lead of the unrefined self has been transmuted into the gold of a perfected soul. The alchemical child is far more than just a mythological figure from a distant past. It is a powerful symbol that resonates deeply within our own personal journeys of growth and self-discovery. The child represents the ultimate goal of self-discovery, not to become something entirely new, but to become our true, authentic selves. The alchemical process is a powerful step-by-step metaphor for this journey. The nigredo is our dark night of the soul, the period of despair and confusion that we must pass through to find our truth. The albedo is the moment of clarity, the insight that we gain after the darkness, where we start to see the path forward. And the rubedo is the moment of enlightenment, the final realization of our true nature, a state of profound peace and understanding. The child is a symbol of integration. It is not just about becoming good or pure. It's about integrating our darkness and our light, our consciousness and our unconsciousness, our masculine and feminine. The alchemical child is a whole being, a person who has embraced and accepted all parts of themselves, even the parts that they once feared or rejected. This is the difference between a person who is simply good on the surface and one who has done the deep inner work of becoming whole. The philosopher's child is a promise, a symbol of hope. It tells us that no matter how chaotic or unrefined our starting point may be, there is always the potential for a new, perfected self to be born. The inner work is hard, but the reward is a state of being that is truly golden. It is a state of wholeness that transcends the dualities of our world. The great work of alchemy, the magnum opus, is not a dusty historical curiosity. It is a living, breathing blueprint for personal transformation that is more relevant today than ever. We may not use furnaces and flasks, but we all participate in a modern form of alchemy. The nigredo is every time we face a crisis, a failure, or a period of intense grief. It's the moment we hit rock bottom and are forced to confront our deepest truths. It's the therapeutic process of unearthing past traumas and facing our shadow selves. It is a difficult but absolutely necessary stage of letting go of our old flawed self. The albedo is every moment of insight and clarity that follows. It is the moment we realize a pattern in our behavior, the moment we understand why we act the way we do, or the moment we find a new sense of purpose after a period of darkness. It's the process of forgiving ourselves and finding a more refined perspective on our life. The conjunctio is the continuous work of integrating the different parts of our lives. It's the union of our logical, professional self with our creative, emotional self. It's finding a balance between our ambitions and our need for rest. It's the harmony we find when our thoughts, feelings, and actions are all aligned. And the rubedo is the state of living as our authentic, integrated self. It's not a destination, but a way of being. It's the ability to live with a sense of purpose and wholeness, to see the world with a sense of wonder and wisdom, and to act from a place of integrity. We become the alchemical child not by doing a single act, but by living a life of continuous inner work. The story of the alchemical child is a reminder that the greatest quest that we can ever embark on is the one within ourselves. It is a promise that no matter where we start, the potential for greatness or for wholeness, for gold, lies within. If you like what you saw, comment, like, and subscribe, all that good stuff. Like it if you like it. Have a good day.